Hey guys, Mike here with the watch list video for Monday, May 22nd. It's kind of a boring day. SPY gapped up. Here's the intraday 5-minute candles. It just kind of rolled over in the kind of late morning and then sideways the rest of the day. I'm a little mad at myself for I had NNOX on the watch list, and if you watched the video on Thursday night going into Friday, let me go back to the daily here. I mentioned that NNOX would be interesting over the 1750 area. It topped out at 1752 on Friday. Thursday, and then Wednesday 1745. So, and you had a couple bottoming tails. It's a recent high flyer, decent pullback. So that's what I mentioned in that video going into Friday, that it was interesting over 1750. Let's fast forward to Friday, and there's the opening 5-minute candle. I mean, which is nice. Topped out at 47, right? You had a little bottoming tail. So the break of 1750 made absolute sense. I actually, was getting ready to press the button, and it went pretty quick. But I was also keeping an eye on the morning gapper. So sometimes I watch too many things at once. That ended up being, massive, like over $1 move in about 6 or 7 minutes. And I think I saw some of you talking about getting that. I didn't get it. But there's a lesson there too. You guys know that the morning gappers typically, I leave them alone, right, for the first 15, 20 minutes now because there's so much whippiness. I don't trust any of the old morning gap play 2-minute sell or fail scenarios on them, right? Even though occasionally one of them will work, but for the most part, those would probably be better shorts when they trigger than longs, and we've known that for a long time, right? Because markets change, algos get rewritten, and so on. But what I have seen lately, and I saw it in Carvana the other day too, is stocks that are breaking a level that I mentioned in the night before that I'm looking for. If they do it early on, you can get a nice little early trade. So I might, and I'm saying this so some of you maybe do this with me as well. I'm going to start shifting some of my focus to the stocks on the overnight video versus, for an early trade. I'd rather trade some of those early that are taking out a resistance level that I maybe talk about in the video. I would rather focus on that in the first 10 minutes and maybe catch some early trades than I would to risk money on, like I said, a seller's fail scenario on 2-minute candles on the morning gappers, because those are dangerous, right? So something to think about, something for us to, as we always do, we always work together on stuff, right? So there's something that we can kind of collectively work on. What am I watching for possible trades on Monday? WKEY, crazy stock. But it has popped. Both of these pops were on actual headlines, so it is worth keeping an eye on. In other words, not just some random pump. But they're also, something like a W key is pretty darn whippy. But anyway, I'm going to keep it on a chart. SDA on the morning gap list on Friday and ended up closing fairly strong. So we're going to keep an eye on that one. STXS, nice pop on news on Friday. Maybe that continues on Monday. MNK, crazy move on Friday. So we're going to keep our eyes on that one. AMTX actually had a nice headline on Friday, and closing a little bit maybe above the middle of its range, but did have nice news, so we're going to keep that one on watch for a possible trade. CTLT. I just wanted to show this too. This is one, and these are 5-minute candles. This is one that topped out at the quarter, 35.25, sold off and came back up. There's an example of a seller's fail scenario that absolutely ripped. So something to think about too. But notice it's not 2-minute candles. It's not triggering 3 minutes into the session, but that one closer to 6, 7, 8 minutes into the session. Also, maybe something to keep an eye on. And what you might call a more normal stock, right? Than something like that's just been crazy high volume and the algos are all over, right? So there's another something we can kind of focus on. Anyway, I want to watch for the possible follow through in that one on Monday. SIEN. I still like the chart. Pop back here to 220. It actually broke that a little bit right here to 225. You sort of have not a pure play cup and handle, but it's still got the shape. A pure play, this wouldn't have broken this high, but still nice volume lately, and you're kind of flagging. So and it did have a decent news headline that got the pop to what this would have been on Wednesday. So a couple days lower after Wednesday's pop certainly lands it on bounce watch for me. SPRY had the big pop back here. And pretty choppy, but holding up really well. So that one goes on long watch. TTWO. Because of the gap, I don't love it. But you had the gap up, I believe, on earnings on Thursday. And then Friday, kind of a quiet inside day. So I'm looking for a possible third day play there. And then a bounce play in... Wait a minute. That doesn't look right. All right, I knew that chart didn't look like the one I wanted on the list. I was thinking of Goose, not Boot. Why did I get those two mixed up? I don't know. Two O's in the middle of the symbol, maybe? I honestly don't know. But anyway, this Goose popped up on earnings on Thursday, sold off, and then sold off again on Friday. It's had pretty decent bounces off this 17 level, right? Back here and back here. And it's gotten there from the gap up from a high of 22.65 in 2 days in quite the hurry. So this is a pretty clean setup for a potential bounce play if we get an A+ intraday bounce play setup on Monday. Other than that, guys, we'll add gappers in the pre-market together as well. And that's it. I'm going to let you go. Quit babbling, and we'll see everybody in the chat room on Monday morning. Have a great rest of your weekend.